So Ben, I know you weren't watching the game today because you were doing your,
Dungeons and Dragons, yes.
Dungeons and Dragons thing. Yeah, yeah. But something really special happened. Like, so Wilmer must have like gotten hurt or something, and so they took him out like in the middle of the inning,
Right. Oh.
and then the crowd. Just because it's the last game of the season, I guess, and everybody was really excited, they gave him a standing ovation, and he tipped his cap and he waved to the crowd, and then he got into the dugout and they showed it, and he was giving hugs to all of his teammates. It was, I just hope he's okay for next year.
Oh, buddy. So you think they took him out of the game because he was hurt?
Well, of course. Why else would they take him out?
Well, so you know that ovation that he got?
Yeah, last game of the season, all the fans are just happy and said, "We love you, Wilmer." And yeah,
Right. That's why they took him out of the game. Was because of the ovation.
but the ovation happened after they took him out, so he must have been like a reason. They must have gotten hurt or something.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they took him out because of the ovation. I'm saying that they took him out so he could get the ovation. Because to honor him.
Okay, but
Because so they knew this since the last game of the season. You wait until the inning starts and they're about ready to pitch, and then the manager comes out and says he wants to make a change. It like everybody their focus is focused on the field, and so then everybody notes that that player is coming out, and it gives everybody a chance to focus on that player.
right.
So they did, and everybody stood up and cheered for Wilmer.
Right, which was totally great. And I can't wait to see him next year.
Oh, yeah. No, that's, I don't think you understand. The reason they were giving him such a big ovation, Matthew, is because they won't see him next year. Almost 100% definite.
But well, why? Why wouldn't he be back?
Because he's getting older and he plays first base and really not any other position other than DH. And they have Rafael Devers, who really only plays those two positions as well. So there's kind of a little crunch there.
They could find a spot for him though. They don't. You can't say that he's not going to be back.
Oh, I can say that he's not going to be back. He's not coming back, Matthew. You cannot have 3 DH first basemen. Even if he does hit from the other side than the other two, you just can't have that. And Bryce is going to be there, and Rafael is going to be there, and so there's no room for Wilmer. Like, Wilmer has to move on, and he knows that. He acknowledges that. That's why he waved to the fans and gave everybody all those hugs, because
No. I'll be there for you.
Oh, buddy,
when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you.
Screw it. You know what? Bob, just hit it.
Welcome to Giant Cocktails, where the baseball is mid, but the cocktails are elite. Here are your hosts, Ben and Matthew Henry.
Welcome to episode 331 of Giant Cocktails, where the baseball is mid.
Doesn't get more mid than the Giants, Ben.
Nope. But also, the cocktails also are mid. Because today, we're drinking a fantastically awesome cocktail, and we're drinking the worst cocktail ever invented.
Who's we?
Well, both of us on the show is drinking them. The drinking, but yeah. Anyway, Matthew, did you know that Matt Cain started 331 games over his 13-season Giants career, and only one of them was perfect?
Yeah,
Slacker. I mean, you try to do something 331 times and you only get it right one time? This seems like a low rate of success to me.
It's higher than most things I do.
Well, considering he's the only Giants pitcher to ever do it, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. But before Logan Webb, it was Matt Cain who used to not get runs scored for him as a member of the San Francisco Giants starting pitching staff.
And then, Verlander has taken it to a whole other level.
That is true. Before people got Verlandered, they got Matt Cained.
Enough with the banter. Let's talk cocktails.
I don't want to. No.
What are you drinking, Ben?
I don't want to talk about it. We're not doing this.
Yes, we are.
We are not doing... No.
It was a bet, Ben. Come on.
This is a stupid bet.
Then you shouldn't have taken the bet.
What are you talking about? Of course I should have taken the bet. Homeostasis?
I can't explain it
It was a
either.
given. I don't know what is going on. This is a fact. The fix is in. Something clearly went wrong on Saturday. I don't know what happened out there. Justin Verlander, not only did they scored like no runs for him. Okay, they scored a few more than that, but barely. And he still won the game.
Ryan Walker tried, Ben. He tried.
You know what it is? Like you can trust in a man, Bob Melvin, to stay with the guy for too long. Like I knew he was going to go to Walker. I'm like, yeah, I can trust him. He's going to bring in Lucchesi. But then no, Verlander didn't let that happen. So we didn't get Lucchesi. And then he brings in Walker and I'm like, oh, I mean, I don't want my boys to lose, but at least I don't have to drink the Negroni because I know Logan's I know it's going to be bad tomorrow. So like Saturday was my day. And the point is I don't want to drink a Negroni.
Too bad. So sad. You're drinking that Negroni.
Well, anyway, that's what I'm drinking today, Bob, a stupid Negroni. But it does have a good gin and a good sweet vermouth, such as they are, in it. So that's what I'm drinking today, Bob. A stupid Negroni.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, since Ben has to suffer through his Negroni, I decided to make one of Ben's favorites, the Fitzgerald.
I hate you. This is not fair. This is nice. If it had been me, I would have been drinking a Negroni. I would have made it with Aperol, but still.
Nope. I'm drinking a Fitzgerald, Bob. I'll tell you all about it at the end of the episode.
I'm going to angrily make my Negroni right now.
You haven't even made it?
What? I'm making it now. What are you talking about? I mean, I made it, but I'm like I made it like an hour and a half ago, dude. But it's been chilling. It's been I make it before, and the point is I hadn't put it in the glass yet.
Okay. Ooh.
And you know what's stupid about this cocktail? It looks so nice.
It does. It's so pretty. I forget how bright red they are.
It looks like it should just be like a delightful cherry-flavored cocktail. So stupid. I hate this cocktail. The dumbest thing ever. Anyway, today is Sunday, September 28th, as we record this podcast. Our San Francisco Giants went 3-0 against one of the 10 worst baseball teams to ever do it. The 2025 Colorado Rockies, to bring their record to 81-81. And just to spare you all the pain, I'm not going to tell you what their record was when they don't play the Rockies, 'cause you don't want to know. Remember, way back in spring, one of my strategies was go 500 against everybody else and sweep the Rockies. Well, if they had gone 500 against everybody else, they would be in the playoffs. And if they had swept the Rockies, they would have just missed the playoffs. But they didn't do either of those things. So what does that mean? Well, that means our team finished at 81-81, which means a great many things. The first thing that it means, and the worst thing, is that they did not finish at homeostasis, aka 2 games under 500, which means I lost the bet. But worse, it means that Matthew won the bet.
I don't even know what to say. I never win anything. And the fact that it came down to the last game of the season when we made this bet like 4 or 5 weeks ago was pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. And we kind of, but the thing is, we knew it was going to.
We knew it, but at the same time, they went on that run where they won a bunch of games, and then I was like, "Oh, we're both drinking Negronis because they're going to finish way above 500."
Right? We could have had a Negroni after every playoff game, like whatever it took, you know.
Oh,
and I would have done it. I would have done it. I would have drinking a Negroni every day until the end of this year if the Giants won the World Series, but not one day after that. Not one day, even if that meant they won the World Series. Just no, because I have my limit. And my limit was December 31st. But yeah, so there you go. They finished 81-81.
Really close to my prediction at the beginning of the year, by the way. Really close. Just missed it.
Oh, yeah, really close. Really close. Yeah, so folks, this is the last episode of the regular season. So Matthew and I are going to be going over our predictions as we move throughout the show. Matthew is correct. This is the first prediction that we have an opportunity to review, and that is what the Giants' finishing record was going to be. Now, Matthew was very close. So we're going to hold on his reviewing his prediction, and we're going to review mine first. I predicted that the Giants were going to win 84 games, but still miss the playoffs. And that's about as optimistic as I get. And the joke's on me, because if they had won 84 games, they would have finished 1 game ahead of the Cincinnati Reds, and they would have been the last team into the playoff race. But they didn't do it. All right, but Matthew, what was your guess?
It was so close.
Yeah. How close was it?
It was 89 wins.
Wait, what? 80? Did you say 89 wins? Bob, is that right?
Yes, definitely.
89? Oh, that's right, because last year you predicted 90, and that was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. So I said, well, I'm not falling for that again. So I predicted 89. Conservative
If they won
number.
89, they would have definitely made the playoffs. They would have been in contention for the division title all year long, and they would have tied. Well, they would have been 1 game behind the Padres.
Well, no, because the wins that we would have had in those may have been against
and the Dodgers.
Padres.
So what you're saying is that we
Dodgers.
would have won the division if they had won 89 games.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. On their way to the World Series.
That was what you predicted. Just a little bit off. Just a little bit off.
Which is why I'm so excited about the bet. And,
that's right.
You know, and re-predicting 500
Right.
because I actually got it
I was
right.
off by 4. You were off by 9. I said they weren't going to make the playoffs. They didn't. You said they're going to win the World Series and beat the Dodgers, which I don't think you actually said. But hey, whatever. And for that, I have to drink a Negroni, and you get to drink a Fitzgerald. This just... Why did I... Anyway, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, we are not really going to dwell on the Rockies series, although we are going to talk about a few things that were accomplished during the series. So we're going to have an extra large tidbits section. But we're going to spend most of the show decompressing from the entire season, or really 4 seasons, that was 2025. And we're going to go mostly with our feels here. We have plenty of episodes in the off season to sort of break down and analyze what happened. We're going to talk about who should stay and who should go, and who was most responsible for the bad things that happened, etc. We're going to do all of that in the coming weeks. Today, we're getting in touch with our feelings. But before we do that, let's dive into our tidbits. Milestones edition. So this is not a big milestone, and it's definitely not one that we could have ever predicted, because I never could have predicted that Rafael Devers was going to be a San Francisco Giant. I was vaguely aware that this guy existed. And I do remember that he began the season with like 12 straight strikeouts. I think it was something like that. Go look it up, folks. Rafael Devers did not start off the season well. But Rafael Devers did something this year that is exceptionally rare, especially since the playoff format has changed. Rafael Devers played in 163 games this year. That's hard to do because every team only plays 162. But because he got traded, he got to play in game 42 twice for each team. And that's how he did it. So there you go, Matthew. That's my first interesting milestone. Devers played 163 games this year. I think he played more games than everybody else.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, it doesn't happen very often. But it's not the most in the Giants. Some dude played in 164 for the Giants one year. So, and I think it was all for the Giants too, which is even weirder.
Well, I mean, was that the shot heard around the world year? Because in those days they had 3 game series, but they were all considered regular games, regular season games.
That's right. Probably.
But were they playing 162 at that point?
No, they were not.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. That's interesting. Do you know this individual's name, Matthew?
Oh, a guy named Jose Pagan.
Jose Pagan? In what year?
In 1962.
1962. They
tied the Dodgers and then had to play a 3-game series. But there were 162 games then. So.
And what happened in that series?
Oh, the Giants won.
Oh, good. Naturally. All right. Fantastic. Well, there you have it. Rafael Devers and...
Jose Pagan.
Jose Pagan. That's what I said. Okay, that's cool. That's interesting. Whatever. It's like trivia. But let's get down to the real deal. On Sunday, Matthew, our man, the stud, the guy I knew was going to force me to drink a Negroni, Logan Webb, stepped up onto the bump. And he had 2 goals in mind.
Yes, he did.
I'm going to pitch at least 4 innings, or 2 innings, or whatever it was he needed, to secure the innings pitched lead for the season in all of Major League Baseball. And I'm going to strike out enough of these loser Rockies to also be number 1 in strikeouts in the National League. And just along the way, he also secured his 15th win of the season. Matthew, you and I asked the question at the beginning of the season, will a Giant win the Cy Young Award? And I think I laughed at you. And I still am laughing.
Well, you laugh because, yes, of course Logan Webb's going to be in the conversation, but that's just it, just in the conversation.
Yeah, maybe he'll finish second. Because he's not sexy enough, dude. I'm sorry, Logan. I'm sorry. You're
well,
nice
he's not
dude.
dating Livy
You're
Dunn,
nice
that's
dude,
for sure. And I think, but we always said, like, hey, man, if he just struck out more guys, maybe he'd have a chance. No, he doesn't have a chance.
No.
And he not only leads the National League, he leads the majors in strikeouts and in innings pitched, Ben.
Wow. Well, but his ERA, not so good.
Well, it's not terrible.
He's like 12th or something. No, he's not top. But he does have 5 more wins than Skeens, but nobody cares about wins, right? Nobody wants to hold the Pirates against Skeens, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know, though. Like, I think there's something to be said about innings pitched and strikeouts. Like, it's like, you go out there. He started more games than anybody else. He was the absolute stud. But yeah, no, he's going to be second in the Cy Young Award winning. But you and I did predict how many wins he would get. And I was overly optimistic. So we usually do these predictions at the end of the show, and I think Logan's must have been at the very end of the show, so I must have been very intoxicated. I said Logan was going to win 17.
And I said 16, and then you said, if I recall, yeah, you're probably closer to being right than I am.
Yeah, and you were. I mean, there was just like one of those frustrating Logan Webb starts, or I'm sure he got jobbed by somebody. I'm sure Ryan Walker must have blown a save for him at some point, right? Oh, he did it so many times for so many people. So I'm sure that's how you got Ryan Walker.
I did. But I'm looking at like just in context of how good Logan Webb was. And you say his ERA wasn't great. I mean, he had a 3.22 ERA.
I meant great in terms of like being one of the top.
Well, he's
5,
top 8.
Not
he was 8th in the majors. Okay, in ERA. And what's interesting, it says majors, but then I'm only seeing National League teams. Okay, it didn't. I take that back. He was not 8th. He was 16th in the majors. Let's go back to the National League because that makes my argument better. He is 8th in the National League in ERA. But you look at that, and there are only 11 pitchers, qualified pitchers, starting pitchers in the major or in the National League that have an ERA under 4. Only 11. Now I get it that Paul Skeens has under 2, and that's pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. And he was 10-10 with that. Why are the Pirates so bad?
All I have to be thankful for is that it wasn't a Dodger. You know, Yoshinobu Yamamoto did okay, but I feel like Logan Webb's going to be 2nd in the National League Cy Young Award winning.
I don't think there's any doubt that Logan Webb was more valuable than Yamamoto. Matthew.
Yes.
There was one other milestone achieved on Sunday. Now, Sunday was an interesting day, right? The Giants, if they win, they get to 500. Logan Webb starting the game, he needs these milestones to improve his resume for the Cy Young Award voting.
And as soon as he achieved them, they took him out.
That's right. As soon as he got there, they took him out. They didn't care about the Negroni.
No. Which left me a little concerned, to be honest.
Yeah, I was a little hopeful. I was like, yeah, give me Joey Lucchesi and Ryan Walker, baby.
Nope, Spencer Bivens.
Alas. Good old reliable. Why did they have to?
One of only 2 that started the season in the bullpen, Spencer Bivens.
Yeah, the other one being Ryan Walker.
He didn't get hurt. That's all you can say.
Oh, that's true. He didn't get hurt. At least like physically.
Oh, psychologically
he probably took he took a lot of hits. But anyway, they also had one other achievement to get. And so, one Willy Adames entered the last day of the season with 29 home runs after having hit a home run early on Friday night. Right? He was stuck on 28 forever. And then suddenly he hits one and everybody's like, oh, wow, wait, he was only 2 away. Like, he could have done it in 2 at-bats. So there he was. 1 home run away, so they had him hitting leadoff.
Which wasn't the original lineup that they put out, actually. They redid the lineup, apparently, and had him leading off. In an effort, I assume, to get as many at-bats as he could.
Absolutely.
And yes. It worked, because it only took him 1 pitch.
Yes, but it was the first pitch of the game, which he wouldn't have seen if he had been hitting elsewhere. So, like, it matters. It matters. And boom, straight away center fielder, kind of a no-doubter. And suddenly, our long national nightmare is over. San Francisco Giants fans rejoice. The greatest achievement that we could have ever possibly had. The Giants have a 30 home run hitter in a single season for the first time since 2004 when Barry Bonds did it. This means we win the World Series, right, Matthew?
Nope. It just means that we got a guy with 30 home runs. But,
just like every other team has done.
It was bad, Ben. Nobody wants to be the guy, right? You don't want to be that guy that doesn't have the cool lunchbox. That's just, you gotta like step up at some point. And we weren't doing that. We were like getting made fun of. We were getting bullied on the playground, Ben. And to put it into context, the next closest team with home run hitters, 30 home run hitters since 2004 was the Pittsburgh Pirates with 6.
So the Pittsburgh Pirates were the second worst, is what you're saying?
Yes, but not close.
Not close.
They were 6.
No, it wasn't. 6 is not close. And in fact, if you divide 6 over 21, they did it every few years.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm happy for you. And I'm happy for all of the other fans out there that really wanted this. But you know what I'm happy about more than that?
What? Do we don't have to talk about it anymore?
Yes, mainly. And I'm also happy about the 107 wins that we got in 2021. I'm happy about the 5 times we've been to the playoffs in 21 years, which quite frankly isn't enough, folks. And it's been only 5 times. It kind of blew me away when I counted that, but not enough.
Went to the World Series 4
still,
out of those
I like
5
them.
times.
That's right, because 3 out of those 5 times, they did what, Matthew? They won the only 3 World Series that they've ever won in San Francisco. Now, so what I'm saying is, this was a nothing burger. Who cares? I'm happy for Willie, but man, I'm just glad I can hear people will stop talking.
But you know what? Chicks aren't the only ones that dig the long ball, Ben. Okay? Like everybody digs the long ball. It's fun. It gets you excited. And next year, when Adames, Chapman, and Devers and Eldridge all hit 30, then we will know. You will know that it's a fun thing.
Well, I would agree. I would love that. Because what I do love is this year's the Giants had 4 guys hit 20. And in fact, that's kind of close to my prediction because I said nobody was going to hit 30, but I said 4 guys were going to hit 29. And I'm sad that didn't happen because then we probably would have won more games. But Matthew said 2 guys were going to hit 30. So even though a guy finally did it, Matthew's still wrong.
But one of the guys I predicted did do it, so...
You did do it, yeah. So that's a win. I will give you credit for that. You also said Chapman was going to do it.
No, he doesn't stay healthy long enough.
Yeah, got hurt too many times. I said that Ramos, Adames, Chapman were all going to hit 29, and Fitzgerald was going to hit 25.
yeah, that might have been the booze talking.
Yeah, that was definitely the booze talking.
Well, just one thing that I wanted to point out because. So the Giants did it one time in the last 21 years. The Yankees have done it 34 times. Okay. And the average number on teams for the last 21 years has been 19.
19 times and out of 21. So basically every team has a 30-game hitter, like basically a 30 home run hitter every year.
Yes.
That seems just... Okay, so what you're saying is this is a low bar thing. This isn't hard to do. It's easy to do.
Right. Well, the average was 19. The median was also 19. I mean, so teams just 19, one a year.
All right. Well, Matthew, that's it. Those are the tidbits. Now it's time for us to get down to the real topic of the show, the 2025 season.
It was mid. Moving on.
Wow, you say that, though, but last year was mid. The year before that was mid. The year before that was mid. But this was also mid. I get it. Like, we're 81 and 81. This is like, I think only the second time in history the Giants have finished 81 and 81, but the second time in 4 seasons?
Yes, I think it is.
Is that right? I don't know what or second time in 3 seasons. I don't remember when they did 81. I know they were homeostasis last year. But my point is, this season was a roller coaster, dude.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you graphed out the wins and the streaks, it would be a roller coaster. Yes.
Well, I did, and it looks like a roller coaster. On June 13th, the Giants were 12 games over 500. They traded for Rafael Devers the next day. He didn't show up for 2 days. We all know how that went, because that was at the top of the roller coaster, folks, and we were about to free fall. Between then and August 22nd, the Giants were 19 games under 500, hitting their low point of the season on August 22nd at 7 games under 500. So, season 1 until June 13th, fantastic. Season 2 from June 14th, Flag Day, until August 22nd, awful. But then they start this epic drive and go from 7 games under to 3 games over on September 5th and then held that, I think, for another week until September 12th. And that was the third season, and we thought, oh my God, they might actually make the playoffs. And then, no, we had that last little hill that you get at the end of the roller coaster before you ease into the station with your 81-81 record, wherein they dropped, 3 games, but they dipped down below 500 again. So, I'm exhausted, dude. Like, this season was exhausting. So my question for you is, was it a good season or was it a bad season?
No, okay, I say that, but you can't say it was a good season. I mean, we didn't make the playoffs. We didn't finish over 500.
Okay.
So a couple good things happened, but we didn't achieve the goal. So I don't say you could say it was good.
I think a lot of good things happened. I agree. I don't think it was a good season. I do think that priority number 1 was figuring out what this team had at the end of the Zaidi reign.
Oh, and in that respect, then, yeah, mission accomplished.
Mission absolutely accomplished. There were no more doubts or question marks about everybody. We know where everybody stands. Luciano and Matos, not very high. Fitzgerald, not the guy. Casey Schmidt, the guy. Elliot Ramos, the guy. Our pitching depth that we thought we had, not so deep. Although we did trade some of it away. And I will say this, we did get one of the best hitters in the game, and he delivered. And I know at times it seemed like he didn't, but boy, when you look back at the numbers, Rafael Devers delivered. So I think there were a lot of good things accomplished. And I don't know that the expectations should have been all that high. And I don't really think they were for most people.
No, they shouldn't have been. And I think, my prediction of wins with notwithstanding, I think anyone who has seen this team over the last few years shouldn't be too surprised that they would finish at 500. So I do think, though, that it was good in that you're right. We finished, or we learned what this team was about. We learned where our holes were. We learned what we need to get for next year. And so, I think we're going into the offseason with a much clearer picture than we were last time. And not to forget that Bryce Eldridge did make his debut, did not look overmatched. And so in that respect, I think the organization can plan to have Bryce Eldridge be an integral part of the team next year and really focus on pitching.
I agree. That is the main thing that they need to focus on. We did do a prediction as to whether or not Bryce Eldridge would be called up before September. I said he would be, and I think I kind of demanded it.
Oh, you demanded it.
And he wasn't. And Buster screwed that up. I think he should have been called up sooner. I think we needed him sooner than they thought they did. It wasn't just when Dom got hurt. And I also think that maybe that guy McDonald,
E-I-E-I-O,
was also called up too late. I think we need to keep a closer eye on that guy, because this is like the second year in a row where he just shows up at the end of the season and is brilliant. And then they're like, hey, yeah, okay, go back to mucking the stalls, buddy.
Well, on that note, Bob Melvin, after his start on, was it Friday, said that like his minor league numbers don't speak to like how good he looks in the majors. And it's like clearly, but every time you pitch him there, he does well. So maybe you should give him a shot.
Well, he said maybe he's a guy we should keep a closer eye on next year, which is an interesting thing for Bob Melvin to say, because it brings me to my next question. Well, I get this more of a fill in the blank. Matthew, fill in this blank. Bob Melvin should be blank.
Should be driving home to...
Why? Come on, dude. Okay. Retained or fired?
All right.
God.
That is a good question. And the fact that I have to think about it probably indicates that he should be fired.
Wow, okay.
Just because
so
he
you're
doesn't,
going fired.
I mean, look at his record.
Bob Melvin should be fired.
He's mid. And, I go back to Ted Lasso, right? Ted Lasso with when Roy Kent tells Rebecca, the owner, that don't you dare stand for fine, right? You deserve fire trucking. Amazing.
Okay. So you're saying that fine's not good enough?
No, it's not good enough. And it wasn't good enough when, Kapler fell back into reality. And why should it be good enough with Melvin? And yes, the players all say they want him back. But I actually do think that some of the losses this year fall on Bob Melvin's shoulders. And sometimes you can't say that. Sometimes you're like, oh, it's on the players. It's on the players. But I think there were some times where Melvin didn't, he hung on to players too long. He didn't make the moves that probably the team needed to see at the time because he was dedicated to the veteran or whatever. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing some new blood. I'm not married to Bob Melvin at all.
I agree. I think that, I agree with your assessment that he hangs on to guys too long. I think one of the things that I didn't know about Bob Melvin before he was the Giants manager that I know now is that he really gets locked on to guys. And even as they continue to underperform, he just does not give up on them. And sometimes that's good, right? Like you want to give a guy an opportunity to break through. But then it's like, 8 weeks is probably too long.
Well, it's not even just players, but it's also like in the lineup, positions in the lineup, things like that. Jung-Hoo Lee batting third for like a third of the season. Like, what was that about?
Right. And playing center field every day, even though he has negative 15 defensive runs saved this year, which is by definition awful. So here's this center fielder who's supposed to be great, and one of the leading metrics says he's awful. And one of the other metrics says he's kind of bad. But yet
he catches balls between his knees, Ben. So
yeah, and yet there he is hitting third and playing center field. Played center field all season long. Joey Lucchesi, to me, is another guy. Had a good run, but I don't know why you think this guy is great. Right? Like he's a guy who had a hot hand, and then he just would never give up on him, even though I think Matt Gage, had a hot hand sometimes. So I agree with you on that. Like Bob Melvin sticks with his guys for way too long, and it gets him into trouble. So yeah. But so the next question then is, and this is kind of why I'm like, you're going to replace him, but with who? Who do you replace him with?
Bruce Bochy.
Oh, don't start with me, dude. Why? Okay, I know that's what everybody wants, but why would Bruce Bochy leave what he has now?
Well, I've just seen the speculation online, and I didn't really dig into it. I assumed that maybe his contract was up at the end of this year. Is that not the case? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what his contractual status is, but like, are you saying the Rangers don't want him and therefore he's not going to have a job? Okay, maybe I would consider it then, but if he's still under contract with the Rangers, then no. It's like, I don't know if you know this, but the relationship he had with Buster Posey, he also has that with Chris Young, who is the hobo at
yes
in Texas, right? Both former players, both played for Bochy. He won a World Series with one of these two teams, both of them, but one of them was much more recent than the other. I don't know if you know that. So, like, I just don't understand why everybody thinks that Bochy's going to come back and be the guy. Also, the second run is never good. The second run is never good. Go find me a Stephen Vogt or, whoever the new hot guy is. Don't give me a retread to replace a retread. No offense, Bochy. I don't think of you as a retread, but I just don't see it. I'd rather have Melvin come back than have everybody wish it be Bochy and then it's some underwhelming signing.
Well, Ben, we talk about Bob Melvin, but I also feel like we can't just give Buster Posey a pass.
Oh, I wasn't going to give him a pass. I mean, I will say it's only his first year, and there wasn't a ton he could do, and he did do some amazingly great things. But
well,
do you have an opinion?
Like, I just wonder, like, when you're, like, I remember, and the difference between Farhan and Buster is that we all knew what Farhan was doing because it got leaked to the press, and we were hearing, like, you know, kind of how Farhan was dealing with things. We heard that he was, like, had an influence on lineups and things like that. You don't hear that about Buster, and maybe that's true. Maybe Buster doesn't have an influence, but I also feel like maybe he should. He's the president of baseball operations. The buck stops with him. If you're seeing that someone like Jung Hoo Lee is really bad, then you should be telling your manager you shouldn't play him. Or you should move him somewhere else in the lineup, at the very least. And so I feel like, yeah, you can't just be like, oh, look, I got Rafael Devers, I'm great. No. You know, the team underperformed, and that's on him as well.
Okay, I don't know that the team underperformed, first of all. Like, I don't know that, like, I get it if you thought this team was going to win 89 wins. You're very disappointed.
Oh, I know. They were a game out of first place when they signed Rafael Devers. When Buster made his amazing move that made him so great. Okay? And then they freaking tanked. Okay? So don't tell me that, like, all his moves, you know, did things great.
Okay, so you're saying the Rafael Devers trade was a stupid idea. It was one of the worst acquisitions ever because they went 19 games under 500 in that period of time, and so it was a bad move. Because that's the only reason you bring up the Devers trade as being a bad thing.
It also started the Luke Casey era, Ben.
The Devers trade was an amazingly good thing.
It started the Luke Casey era.
Okay, listen, okay, like. Yeah, I literally, I thought Luke Casey was going to be here for one day.
We didn't even know he was on the team.
I maybe even said it on the show.
When the Devers trade happened.
No, didn't know he was on the team. I really thought he was only be there for a couple of days, and I may have mentioned that on the show. I am with you, but I think the 2025 Giants were a work in progress because of where the team was when Farhan left it.
Sure.
Okay. And so, like, I think that Buster could have done more in the offseason last year. I think he didn't do enough. Well,
the other question is, did he give up on the Giants too soon at the trade deadline?
I mean, that's hard to say because some of the guys that got you back into it were guys that
Drew Gilbert and who else?
Well, yeah, I guess that's nobody else because Dom was already there. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong on that one. I think the evidence shows this year's that like the D-bags sold too, right? I mean, they sold Eugenio Suarez.
And they almost made the playoffs.
They sold and they regret it as well, right? And so I think the moral of the story might be you really shouldn't ever sell unless you're really, really out of it, unless you're the Rockies or the Pirates or something. Like, that might be the moral. I think under normal circumstances, no, he didn't sell too early. But maybe in this day and age, nobody should sell. So I do think that the jury is still out on Buster. I think Buster could have done more in the previous offseason. I don't think he made too many mistakes this year because there just wasn't a lot to do. I mean, also, let's not forget Dom Smith, right? Like, that's got to be on Buster's... You know, he's got to get credit for that.
No, he did some great things, and I'm not trying to be too negative, but I also feel like it's not done, and we will see how he constructs this pitching staff going into next year, because I think that's going to be the most indicative of how well he does.
Right. Look, we're going to dive more into this stuff in the offseason. Now, we did bring up the Melvin question because Melvin, if he's going to be let go, is going to probably be let go in the next few days, right? Like,
yeah.
Possibly as early as tomorrow, Monday, when you hear this podcast. If something major happens, Matthew and I will jump on to do an emergency pod for like a short period of time. And that will be true throughout the entire off season. But as for everything else, we will dive deeper into it as the off season goes on. And all of that. But there is one last question that I want to ask you, Matthew, before we wrap up. Do you think across the organization that the vibes were better?
100% yes. And maybe that's where Buster Posey had the most influence. I think, you didn't feel like there was a guy running his fantasy baseball team at the front of, at the head of the office there. I think you had a guy that had been in the shoes of the players and was gonna make the decisions best for the team. And then you brought in guys like Adames and then Gilbert at the end, and the vibes were good. The vibes were good and they were fun. And I think the fans responded to that by showing up to the ballpark, even though they were the most schizophrenic team in history. So, I think the vibes were better for sure.
I agree. I mean, I think even though the outcome was the same, I think this was a much more exciting team, an interesting team to follow this year. I think a lot of the fans agree with you. So I definitely think the vibes were better. Everybody's very excited about what's happening down in the minor leagues. The San Jose Giants won the championship. So, there's good things happening lower down in the organization as well. People said that the Willie Mack Award got a lot of guys coming back that normally wouldn't have wanted to be here with the previous regime. And all of that seems to suggest that, yes, the vibes are better. But I think what is clear is we all acknowledge that this has got to be the bottom. It has to get significantly better from here on out. And Matt Chapman guaranteed us a playoff run next year, which means that if they don't make it, it's his fault.
Yeah, it was pretty ballsy of him to get in front of the stands and say that next year they were gonna get to the playoffs.
Yeah, there you go. Player manager Matt Chapman. All right, Matthew, it's time to talk about the Giants' upcoming
New York
opponents.
Yankees.
That's right. And you will either be there on opening day, which will be in San Francisco, and so will the last game of the season, you told me. That's crazy. It's crazy. Or you can watch it on Netflix.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people doing some Netflix and chill, on opening day next year.
No. Dude, I'm watching baseball. I'm not doing any Netflix and chill. Get off me, lady. Leave me
I
alone.
honestly can't make that same promise. I might have to go to opening day just to avoid
it. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Understood. All right. Also, it's the playoffs. They're happening. We now know who all of the teams are going to be. Camilo and what's and not be. That's true. As we knew would happen. The New York's met. They metted. They metst. And the Cincinnati Reds were the beneficiaries. That could have been the San Francisco Giants, but nay. But anyway, the Jazz and Camilo will be facing the Boston Red Sox. Crazy in an opening round series. So I'll be keeping a close eye on that one, and Matthew will be keeping a close eye on the Big Dumper doesn't play in the first round.
I'm not going to watch any of them.
Yeah, you're not going to watch any of them?
I never watched the postseason when the Giants aren't in them.
What?
Why should I watch it? I don't care about them.
Wow. Okay, so you're a Giants fan, but you don't like baseball.
Perhaps. I love Giants baseball.
Right. Well,
man.
I'll be watching all the games. All right. Well, I will be watching all of the games. I will be cheering on Camilo, but honestly, if he's going to win, he can't pitch because he seems to be in the doghouse. He's on the bad side of the bullpen. He only pitches when they're losing. But he's been pretty good in his last few outings. So he was
in
bad
the
for
playoffs.
Them
players, you can't hide players, Ben.
That is true. So Camilo will get his opportunity, and I hope for him that he succeeds. And I feel really bad for those Seattle fans when Camilo and Jazz ruin their dreams once again.
Isn't it time for the booze,
Bob,
boys?
Yeah, I finished my cocktail long ago. I actually celebrated silently. Matthew was talking, and I was doing a little dance while he was talking as I was making my bourbon and Coke. Anyway, hit me, Bob.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Well, Bob, today I drank a Negroni because the Giants swept the Rockies. which they should have done. But that meant that they did not finish at homeostasis, and so I lost the bet. I don't really care about that, but I'm most upset that Matthew won the bet. But anyway, what's in a Negroni? Well, folks, it is a perfect cocktail. It has 1 part. I would go with 1.5 ounces of gin, 1.5 ounces of sweet vermouth. I'm using Rico. And then, unfortunately, 1.5 ounces of Campari. You put all of those into a mixing glass with ice. You stir them until well chilled. I would stir them until the ice is all gone. Just until it's all gone. Fill the whole thing with ice and just stir it until they're all melted. But if you actually want what people consider to be a good one, like for 30 seconds. Then you strain that into a rocks glass with a single large chunk of ice. Use small little pebble ice if you want more dilution. Then take a fresh orange twist, and twist that over the glass, and then drop it in, and then you have a Negroni. And that's what I drank, and I drank the whole thing, Bob. Yum. Or whatever.
I'm not gonna lie. That cocktail sucked.
It did, Bob. It did. I don't know why people like this cocktail.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, just to make Ben feel better, I'm drinking the Fitzgerald. The Fitzgerald is a classic cocktail that my recipe has 1.5 ounces of gin. Any gin will do. I'm using Hobbs by Young and Yonder, which is 100 proof floral gin, and it is lovely. 3/4 ounces of lemon juice, 3/4 ounces of simple syrup. I'm doing 2 dashes of Angostura bitters and 2 dashes of Peychaud's bitters. Put all those into a shaker with ice. Give it a good shake until well chilled. Double strain it into a rocks glass with ice. And garnish with a lemon peel. That's what I'm drinking. The Fitzgerald.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It actually is really
really
good.
is.
Ben, I understand why you like it. It's really tasty. But the best part about it, it's not a Negroni. And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next Monday with more Giants content. If you wanted more, you should blame the Giants for not making the playoffs. If you can't wait that long, though, you can reach out to us on the socials. You can find us in all the usual spots under the name Giant Cocktails. Don't forget, you can also find us on YouTube, where you can subscribe and comment. Most importantly, be sure to leave us a positive review, like 5-star positive, at your podcasting platform of choice, aka Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Ben, it was great talking Giants with you this entire season. Any season that ends with me not drinking a Negroni is a good one. Until next time, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, Matthew. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Wilmer, I love you. I'm so sorry. I'm going to miss you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Giant Cocktails Podcast. Until next time, bottoms up.
I mean, he'll be back. That's what Crook and Kipe wanted us to believe.
Mm-hmm. They're smoking crack. He's not coming back.
Yeah, they didn't want to be like, yeah, sure thing. I mean, we'll get into it. We'll get into it in the off season. We'll try to find a place for him, Matthew. That's what we'll do. We'll try to find a way to keep Wilmer.
He's going to be a Colorado Rocky. He's going to be like a Pittsburgh Pirate.
Probably. Probably. Although that sounds like too good of a signing for the Pirates.
Yeah, would they pay $15 million for?
They would not pay $15 million for anybody.
$7 million?
$3 million. Oh, hey, Scott left a comment on the cocktail in our logo. He wants to know, why does it have 2 orange slices? And he says, wouldn't it be ironic if it was a Negroni? And I think we should block Scott from all other future communications.
I liked it just because it was a really cool photo of a frou-frou cocktail for our logo, but
it's an old-fashioned, Scott. It's an old-fashioned, for crying out. Don't come at me like it's not a Negroni. It's not a Negroni, Scott.
It's not red enough to be a Negroni, Scott.
It's exactly. It's like brown. This is a golden brown.
And, granted, it's like an airport bartender old fashioned where they like muddle the orange and crap like that. But
well, maybe they just threw the fruit in there. Like, they didn't muddle it in there. They just tossed it in there, right?
I'll give it a pass.
Make it look prettier. Yeah. It's not AI generated, I will tell you that, because Matthew made that logo before all of the generative AI came out. So good on you, Matthew.
I was pretty proud of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Sweeter than a Negroni.